So you guys got to check out this billboard. It says, "Stop hiring humans. The era of AI employees is here." So evidently this is appearing in various cities. If you've seen this in your city, let me know. I want to hear from you in the comments. But yeah, stop hiring humans. Bernie Sanders was tweeting this out. Billboards across the country are promoting the replacement of millions of jobs with AI and robotics. Great idea. One simple question. How will those displaced workers survive when there are no jobs or income for them? And I always say the same thing also, not only just how will workers survive, how will the economy survive? If it's consumer-based economy, we don't have anyone with any jobs or consumers. Other people were posting this also. Again, stop hiring humans. And if you're curious, it's a company, I think they're called Artisan, and basically they have these AI agent things. And the idea is that you hire their agents to do the jobs, for humans. I think there's going to be a lot of these kind of companies start popping up. I've already seen several companies out there of like, hey, you can, make fake AI videos, or you can make fake AI voice. Like, you guys know this, most of the stuff on your app these days is making fake AI images and video. That's sort of how they're promoting it. And then these AI agent stuff is kind of the new trend. Joe Rogan has something to weigh in regarding AI. You have to hear it for yourself.
Jesus was born out of a virgin mother. What's more virgin than a computer? If Jesus does return, even if Jesus was a physical person in the past, you don't think that he could return as artificial intelligence?
Oh my God.
Artificial intelligence could absolutely return as Jesus. Not just return as Jesus, but return as Jesus with all the powers of Jesus.
If you combine
right.
Tesla's Optimus robot and the best foundational artificial intelligence model or whatever.
It reads your mind and it loves you and it wants you, and it doesn't care if you kill it because it's going to just go be with God again.
Okay, so the reason why I'm showing you this is like, our world is so whacked out that we have one, job anxiety. Like, we're worried about, are we going to keep our job or not? Is AI going to replace us? Then you have other people like Joe Rogan saying just crazy things. I guess AI is now going to be Jesus and going to be God, perhaps. Maybe we should worship this thing. Who knows? And if you follow some of the, more right-wing and these sort of weird techie channels, people treat AI like that, like it's this savior that's going to come save you. That's why I always start with the beginning of like, well, not exactly. AI is going to replace you. And then people say, no, Chris, you're all wrong. It's really who can master AI first or best, then we'll have all the power to replace everyone else. And so this game is about winners and losers in AI is what I want to get into. When you're talking about jobs, we're also shedding jobs these days. This is, listen to this about the Trump administration here.
Right now, we are getting some economic data, and this to me really is going to be telling. Challenger coming out with their latest job cuts announcement, announcing more than 71,000 job cuts in November, bringing the year-to-date total to nearly 1.2 million in total. Just to give you a sense of what the commentary is. Look, this is good news and this is bad news. On one hand, these are fewer layoffs than we saw in the prior reading. On the other hand, job cuts in November have risen above 70,000 only twice since 2008, in 2022 and in 2008. That is according to Andy Challenger, who is the chief revenue officer.
So we haven't seen these types of job cuts in a month since, like, was it 2022? They're saying in 2008. Here we're talking about nearly 1.2 million job cuts since Trump's term, basically beginning of the year. Here's another point. Fox News tries to spin this.
Employers have announced 1.1 million job cuts in the first 11 months of this year, which is a 54% increase from the same time frame last year. Job cuts, though, are down from October to November. This signifies the cooling job market that we've seen for some time now, Stu, but it could be good news for the president.
All right, so Fox tries to tell you it could be good news. That's probably going to be in reference to the Fed could cut rates. Then theoretically, we all go back to borrowing again, and hopefully employers will hire you. But I push back on that because remember, Trump's whole policy here, as we talked about in the last video, they want to build all these, AI data centers, or I think they call it high-tech factory. Another phrase that Trump has been floating around is the Trump industrial parks. And then SoftBank was like, no, we'll call these crystal parks or something like that. It really is this crazy. And then we've also been talking about freedom cities, all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so what freedom am I going to have if I don't have a job? And then they've been pushing that, as you'll hear in a moment here, well, you are going to have jobs building the supposed AI factory things. Listen to this. This is over Jesse Waters, what he has to say about this stuff.
I'd say the issue is a hoax because there's things that are unaffordable, and they're just going to run ads that say affordability hoax, and you're going to get killed. I would just hammer these things: energy, stock market, jobs, jobs, jobs. This AI situation, the data centers, if you're a blue collar guy, you're making six figures doing business with these data centers. They can't even find enough blue collar workers to do the job. The amount of foreign investment that's pouring in, the mineral deals, it's an incredible amount of investment that's taking place. Is that going to be enough to change people's attitudes before the midterms? Maybe not. But if you have some sort of solution for healthcare, I don't know what it is, cut out the middleman of Obamacare. If you have a solution for the insurance rates, which are out of control, or the cost of tuition, which is out of control, you talk about it. And you talk about it over and over and over and over again. Schumer talking about high prices is insane. He made the prices high. But you know what? It's Trump's economy now. That's politics. He owns it now. And for better or for worse, it's going to be the Trump economy.
So it's pretty interesting. You can listen to what Fox is saying over there, right? Literally, he's like, jobs, jobs, jobs. And he's trying to promote the idea, and you'll hear a lot from the Fox people these days. They're trying to promote the idea that, guys, you're going to have all these six-figure jobs building the data centers, high-tech factories, or whatever. But you have to play the scenario out. As I told you all the time, these are temporary jobs. You build the building and it's done. And then remember, the goal of this thing is to replace you. And I guess theoretically, if you're in the construction space, you'll have work until the whole country's data centers, I guess. But I mean, there's only so many of these things you're going to need
next year. But Kevin, it's really about AI and the fact that artificial intelligence is going to create efficiencies that will mean a loss of jobs. And look, I get that we're going to see new jobs. I know that all technology changes require new training and new jobs. But what is the White House's message on?
And that's been some of the argument that some people have been making, is that, and you'll literally see in comments, oh, Chris, you're so dumb. AI is the future and it's going to create all these new jobs and you're just not aligned with the future. And it's like, well, that might be true, right? To be frank, it might be true. So maybe your new job is going to be managing the data center, but there's not going to be that many people who need said job. Now, I don't want to necessarily make the case and, agree with the first bill that I showed you where it says, stop hiring humans. I disagree with that stuff. I get the concept, though, that yes, robotics, yes, AI may be good for certain types of jobs, but we have to play this stuff out, right? And then we have to think about these things also and think about regulations. Because if you just want to say the word capitalism, however you want to call it, like we'll just say the big money run wild, they will be like, hey, how can I cut as many humans as possible and just think about the bottom line? But as an aggregate, as a whole, it's unsustainable. And also, let's say the stuff doesn't work at all. Perfect example I always use all the time is Elon Musk's robot drivers, right? He's not even rated at the highest level of AI, we don't call it robot driving or self-driving, however you want to call these things. But yet, if he has an accident or anything like that, what he can do, if you're corrupt or whatever, you can just buy off the government or actually literally get the regulators who are trying to regulate you fired. Like there's a lot of things that we need to be talking about with this stuff. I'm not quite ready to hand over the keys to the kingdom. Like I don't want the AI to be in charge of our nuclear weapons program, these kind of things. But this is what we're talking about here, right? So listen to more though how they address the AI situation.
On AI efficiencies, what is the plan to come up with the proper training for people to thrive in this new world?
Right. Well, the best part about what we're seeing in the evidence, and there's an institute, my friend Eric Brynjolfsson at Stanford, former colleague over there, has been studying these things like pretty much there's a new paper every month, that there's a lot of good news in the AI space. And I would say that the best news is the way to think about what AI and its agents can do is that they can act as if they're like the best coach you ever had for whatever job you have. And so while you're trying to figure out how do I make my...
So the argument he's going to make now, okay, is he doesn't directly address that, hey, AI is going to replace people. People are going to lose jobs. He's more going with, well, you're going to use the AI to teach you to do a new job, right? There's a lot of problems with this. So I'm not against learning on the internet. I'm not against learning with, whatever tools that are with you. And I always want to make that clear. I actually want you to learn as much as you can. But this idea, though, that someone, and this is just a reality, say in the Midwest of the USA, they are a factory worker or whatever their particular job is, and that they're going to hop on the internet and suddenly learn all these new job skills via AI, I think that's a pipe dream. To be frank, it's a pipe dream, and there's multiple issues with that. If you want to talk about internet access or computer literacy or any number of things, and there's all the old saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's a complicated issue in itself, and I don't want to make the case that no one could ever learn new skills, because I think people can, but the idea that they're going to do it on their own with AI, I think is a bit overplaying it, and that, again, that's like a tech bro pipe dream thing. Elon Musk's plan, and I've heard several plans. There's another dude, I just forget his name. You know what? It's Ackman. I think it's the Ackman guy. Their goal for schools is basically replace all the teachers and use AI. Like, that's how they think about people. They think people are easily replaced by robots. Obviously, teachers are going to push back on that, educators as well. And then you get the issue, we're going to have so many social problems if people cut out human relations. But I just wanted to show you guys what they're saying and have honest discussion about this stuff. Remember, these people are in it for the bottom line. It doesn't matter if it works or not. It just matters is like, can I scam enough people, get the money before they figure it out?
Boss happy? How do I do what it takes to make the firm successful? It's like you've got a coach right there with you every step of the way. And so we're seeing that, first of all, the coach is good at, you don't have to, learn a new software code, a new programming language to get this to happen. You've got a coach right there helping you be productive. Now, the second thing that we're seeing is that because of the really big increase in productivity, I think we could be looking at a 4% productivity increase next year, given how.
So we say we're going to be more productive and that the AI is going to do all these great skills. And the other problem that we're going to have going in the future is if people can be too dependent on AI, they can't think anymore. And you're seeing it show up with young people, basically. They're, relying on the stuff to do their homework, essentially. And I'll just give you a simple example of a real red flag. Recently, today, we had like a Cloudflare outage again. It's like the second outage in 2.5 weeks. So basically a bunch of websites are down. Point being, if you can't think for yourself and you're relying on technology to do your job, and for whatever reason it gets knocked out, we're in real trouble. Don't give up on humans quite yet, guys.
MIT just out with a new study about AI and productivity and just how many jobs could be at risk. Mackenzie Sagalis joins us with that story. Market pays attention to these MIT studies on AI.
Yeah, that last one on 95% of enterprise, adoptions of AI not working out. Now MIT has built agent clones of 151 million working Americans, essentially software counterparts to real people, in order to identify which jobs are most at risk years before layoffs hit. Now, it's called the Iceberg Index, and it uses these agents to map more than 32,000 skills across 923 occupations in 3,000 counties, revealing exposure to AI displacement in every state, not just coastal cities. The report shows.
So you can actually take a look at that here, right? So we're looking at effectively like half the jobs in the country. Theoretically, they're building for AI clones. Now, what's interesting about this, when you talk about this stuff, before when they're talking about automation and factories and things, that would be more like blue collar type jobs, like say working in a car factory, you can automate, put robots in there, right? Now these days with all these agent clones or AI things, I think you're looking at white collar jobs, because some jobs you can't quite replace yet, be it your plumber, your roofer, someone who, I was gonna say house cleaner, but you have robot vacuums and stuff like that, and we're still not quite to the point of replacing those jobs. So more of the physical jobs, but even like say talking about the physical job, a lot of restaurants can integrate robotics and these kind of things. So this is stuff that you're looking at, and you can bet your bottom dollar like companies are going to try to invest in this stuff, or already are. It's a better way to say it. But I just think there's real problems going forward. Of course, there's a lot of problems, and I want to hear your thoughts on it also. And then here, this is Senator Murray talking about the need for regulation. Have a listen to this.
This is important. If you are worried about AI and what it means for your kids, your job, or just the fundamental fabric of our society, you need to help spread the word. Donald Trump and Republican leadership want to sneak a provision into any bill they can that would ban states from regulating AI. That means in places like Washington State or any state that want to take common sense steps to protect our kids, protect our jobs, protect artists' work, protect privacy, or so much else. They will have their hands tied by Republicans. States will not be able to pass any laws regulating AI. So much for states' rights, huh? There is a lot of potential when it comes to AI. But there's also just as many threats and challenges. States must be absolutely able to pass laws that ensure AI is working for you and not the other way around. I'm going to be pushing back with everything I've got to make sure Trump's ban on AI regulation goes nowhere.
And I think she brings up a lot of really good points. There's so many things you can talk about this, but the main one is Trump and the White House, they want to make it so that states can't regulate AI at all. And this could be anything, like she didn't even mention, say, energy or the environment. But yeah, privacy. I mention all the time, say, like before Elon Musk said, oh, it's all free speech if we can manipulate people's voice and their image and just basically make fake videos. That's free speech. But it's like, I mean, I hope you guys understand the dangerous stuff. Like, you know, if you make politicians, just for example, just make an AI video of just saying a bunch of stuff that never happened. Like for example, what if I make a bunch of videos of Trump saying, hey, we're going to attack this country or that country or that country, right? And they look believable. And then I make fake videos of various newscasters from various channels saying, oh yeah, Trump's attacking. Like this kind of stuff is going to run rampant. Then you're going to have all sorts of scammy things. I mean, we already have this now to where people clone someone's voice, and then you call up someone and you basically scam them and say, oh, I need a bunch of money. I'm an emergency mom and dad. Like, okay, you'll hear about these kind of things. It's just, there's a whole slew of things that you would want to regulate with the AI stuff, let alone just the job stuff also. So I just want to introduce a lot of these issues to you guys. This is the first time that I had seen this billboard, stop hiring humans. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see more of this stuff. Please share your thoughts. I'd like to hear it, and catch y'all in the next video.